Okay, my name is Ravi Bhanu Chhetri. I'm from Nepal, and I work as an alternative energy expert in Rwanda itself. So I've been in this field for about from 1980. 80 it was like a few times here, a few times there. But from 1985, I really worked very hard to promote biogas in Nepal, design and promote biogas in Nepal. I was in Nepal. I was working for an organization called BSP, Biogas Support Program, and then I worked there for like 25 years, and then I was called to different countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and all. So finally, I was called by JICA to Rwanda itself. So in Rwanda, we have a college called Alternative Energy College. So in that college, we have like AE, IT, and ET. AE is alternative energy, IT is information technology, and ET is electronics and communication. So I am as an advisor to an alternative energy sector in that college. Because like it has a lot to do with it. Like it has like enormous benefits for for the household itself, and in the national level, and even in the international level. In household level, like it's like especially for the woman who is participating in cooking and all. So the cooking time, the drudgery we call it, like the household chore that is lessened by 3 hours, and and on top of it, like if you look it on a national level, then the deforestation is been reduced. And if you talk about in the international level, is like the methane gas, that is like if you lay your dung around, then it's going to be degraded, and then there's methane coming out of it, which is very harmful to the environment. So it is internationally and nationally, and even in a household level, it's quite beneficial. Students can learn in biogas like from the digging part, machinery part, and enormous benefit that the biogas yields from the system itself. So it has mechanical part too, because like pipeline fittings and operations, and then machine fitting, like wet construction we call it. So they can work with cement, sand, and so on. People were using like mostly firewood as their main energy for cooking, and most of the forest were gone in the meantime. So we were working on like regenerating the forest, and we come across the biogas technology, because like you cannot say from tomorrow you cannot cut wood. What is the alternative for the people who is using wood? So we said like we'll give you an alternative, that is we give you a biogas plant, but you don't cut wood. So we designed a biogas plant according to the Nepali say families staple diet. So it's like we come across like we have like dal, bhat, tarkari. So we came to know that a minimum time that a household uses to cook is 1 to 2 hours a day. So we came up with a plant design that will generate biogas for 1 to 2 hours. So in that way, if they have energy at their home site, they are not going to go to the forest and cut wood, and then forest would be saved. Yes, it was an issue till like 4, 5, 10 years ago. Now there is a lot of new forest have regenerated, because people are using biogas, and then the amount of the area, the coverage of forest has increased compared to the previous years before biogas was started. Indoor pollution was and is a great problem when you use firewood inside the house, because it generates a lot of smoke, soot, and then the respiratory problem with the household is there, especially women I am talking about, because they are the one who is cooking for you every day and night. So they have respiratory problem like lung problem, and even eye irritation problem because of the smoke. And by implementing biogas, there is no smoke in the house. So everything like is smokeless, and people have come across, there are interviews and there are reports that say that the eye problem, respiratory problem has even gone down tremendously with the household in the present context, I should say. Like if they have some time, then they can do some income generation work, or even like read, or even look at the television and educate themselves, or even they can talk with their families or spend time with the children. So these are the time that is saved, can be utilized. Like mostly a woman uses those time to generate income. If not, then they are with their babies. They can spend more time with their babies and more time with their families and friends. So the 3.5 hours that is saved has a tremendous effect on woman itself. Before, like they used to like, especially children and especially like women, they used to go out for sanitation in early in the morning, and then they had to do it only once, and then daytime they could not go anywhere. So after biogas was introduced, they can have their own toilet connected to the biogas. So any time of the day, they can use toilets as their requirements, and even the babies and all. And then, as you know, like when you have like the poo going over on the land, then there's flies, and then the flies flying over and going in the kitchen, and then you're getting sick. So that a particular health problem has been like addressed because of the toilet connection in the biogas plant itself. The funding, like nowadays, like it's about like 80,000 rupees. That is like total for the plant. But if you are like digging yourself, if you are like doing unskilled labor yourself, then you save a lot of money from that also. So the 80,000 now means it's like completely you are doing nothing. You are hiring people to do for you. So that is like estimated to be 80,000 rupees around. But if you do it by yourself, like mixing, digging, helping the machine, then the cost probably go down. As you see, like it takes 8 days for a machine to complete the work, and then it takes 25 days for unskilled people to work for it. So that means like you save like the expenses given to this like 25 people per day to complete the biogas plant. It'll save over like 4.5 metric tons of carbon per year per one plant. I would like to like tell them like I would like them to observe the technology, go further on it. Like when they are somewhere in a very big position in the world, in an organization, or maybe they can implement all this kind of like technology to the needy people in the world or needy countries in the world. So I would like the students to really come over here, learn the technology, take it with you, create some enthusiasm or create some curiosity in it, look in the like net information, and try to compare the technology with the existing problem that they have, so that when they are in a like a decisive position in their later life, they can implement all this what they have seen in the childhood when they were in school. Yes, because we have like the category for to be a mason is like you have to study eighth grade. So after eighth grade, then you know the measurements and you can study you see the measurements or use the tapes or see the literatures and all. So the minimum qualification for the mason to be a mason is like eighth standard completed. and then it has created like a lot of job opportunities if you go over. So if you go over the village, like there are at least 5 to 10 masons in a village. So that means like they are going over and having their own jobs around. So these are the masons who like promote biogas plant in the village too, because people will be talking to them, and then they will be talking about the benefits of the biogas plant to the people in their locality, and then when they are interested, this mission will come and contact the company, and then the company will do all the processes that is required, documentation process that is required to get the subsidy from the government. It's not like that, because like there are so many biogas plants in Nepal. Like we are talking about like taking a drop out of our ocean. So I don't think so, because then you are saving a lot of money for the villages itself. And most of the time, when people build biogas plant, it's not like they hire people from outside. It's most of them their family who is working and uh, helping the mission to build the biogas plant. Most of the people don't take the labor, paid labor, to work for them. They do it by themselves. So as formation, they are here, they are paid. So there is nothing like they are taking the jobs away from the people, local people. No. Yes, but excavation site, like we were like at first, like the most difficult part was to connect the toilet with the biogas plant. Dung is considered sacred in Nepal. People uses dung to maintain the flooring. They even use dung for the ceremony rituals and all. But toilet connection was very difficult to educate, because toilet is considered unholy in a Nepali context, and there are people who do not want to eat from the gas that is generated from the toilet. Okay, so to overcome this problem, we really had to educate. We had to say like even the LPG gas is like from the rotten dung or rotten things from way before, and even the atomic proportion of the LPG and the methane is almost the same. So we had to really educate them towards it. So most of the time, we educated the family, the household, like the woman member of the family, because they were the one who were facing problem in cooking. So if you use toilet, then the amount of gas is increased. So we took hold of the women members who gradually insisted to have toilet connection in the biogas plant. And on top of it, like if you don't have toilet, they had to go out in the bushes or in early in the morning to do to have the toilets and all. So they were so vulnerable that they decided to have the toilet attached. So that gradually, like one family, another family, and another family. Now it's like very common. Nobody cares about it so much. Successful plant we have a successful rate of like 70% plant in operation. So it's not 100% plant is used, because some of the plant the animal die and then they don't use it, and then they are not able to afford the animals. So there are plants that after construction is not used after 1 2 years, but the successful rate is like there are 70% of the biogas plant that has been constructed all over Nepal is in construction. We know this because we conduct survey every year of the plant in operation. So that data tells us that 70 to 72% of the biogas plant is still in operation. But due to the rapid urbanization in the village and all, the construction, the demand of the biogas plant is slightly going down, because like people is not having enough cattle. But then they are having the biogas plant without cattle also in their own fundings. You need cattle to get the government funding for it. But if you see it here, they are happy without the funding of governments itself.